All right, so we're back for part 3. We're still discussing the documentary Light Girls.
A very bitter green tea.
Yeah, she is. I'm sorry, we're talking about Raven-Symoné offline, but anywho. Yeah. So anyway, part 3, we're still discussing Light Girls, and we're just talking about what stood out to us. And but one thing that a lot of the testimonials I really related to, as a light-skinned woman. Like, that happened to me too. Or, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, so like people tend to think when you're light-skinned, like you don't have no problems. Like, what the fuck you got to complain about? You know what I'm saying? But there is a lot of that black on black crime, and then and another thing too, which is interesting, and I forget who said this. It might have been Kim Whitley or something. For some reason, the lighter you are, it's like the more you have to justify that you're black. And I don't mean black in color, but meaning black in culture. Like, if you're black, light skin, and like she said, she has all this African art on her walls. Like, it's almost like she has to overcompensate.
And this guy, really attractive guy too, said that of his mother and his wife.
Yeah.
That when they walk into a room, because of the way they look, they got to be like, "Hey, girl!" Like they got to almost like ghetto it up.
And that's so real, and I catch myself doing that even to this day when I'm with other black women, like who are like brown skin to dark skin. If I'm the only one, I almost feel like I have to prove that I'm not.
You're on stage.
Yeah.
She's like, girl, what you gonna do? What you gonna say?
I gotta prove to you that I'm not uppity. I have to prove to you that I'm not a valley girl. I have to prove to you that I don't think I'm better than you. Like, I have to do all these things to prove that I didn't grow up in the suburbs. Like, it's like when people learn my background, it's like they're almost like,
they're astonished.
Yeah, like, you grew up in the hood, like, you used to take, like, it's almost like I grew up on, in some fucking suburb somewhere, and I got a car when I was 16, and I went to like cotillions and shit, but that was not my life. But and all you're basing it on is the way I look and maybe the way I speak.
Yeah, but I always had to blacken it up too.
Yeah.
I was either West Indian, or they didn't think I, like you said, from Brooklyn, from the 90s. Word?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's almost like you said, they always felt like, and I always got from people too, some from white people, like, because I dance, so, I mix culture a lot. Yeah. So it's always like they felt like they would give me a compliment, like, well, you're not really black, or, you black, but you're not, you kind of that other kind of black people. Yeah. And you kind of do the little tilt of the head, like, like, really?
I know. It's like, so sad.
Yeah,
it's so sad, and it's so ignorant. And like what they were talking about, the girls, I never got beat up or anything like that, but I did find myself in that place a lot where I went to school with white people and I grew up around black people. So at school, I'm not white. I'm very black at school because I'm not white. You know what I'm saying? As light as I am, I might as well be the color of, I don't know, a tire. But at home, I'm not black enough. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of find yourself in this weird place.
I was like that too. So I would switch. I was always switching or always tailoring my behavior.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when I was around the block, I was with a lot of black girls. And I go to, I spend my Saturdays and like from 1 to damn near 5 o'clock around. White girls. I was the only black girl in my ballet class, and she said they for a very long time had more white people than black when I was in high school. So I definitely went outside. It was only when I was around my block that I was around like predominantly black folks, and I always had to kind of, like you say, go from one to this one personality to the next.
It's just so much work. It's just too much work. It shouldn't be that difficult. And I mean, just the things that I thought about, the processes that I had to make mentally, just were a little. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm so thoughtful now, and I'm very introspective, and I observe a lot, because I feel like I always had to observe a situation before I entered it. So like I've never really been very talkative. But I always watch, and even to this day, anytime I walk into a room, I start some shit. I'm always just observing, like, what's going on here? What's trying to figure out what the landscape is before I enter it, because it's so much. As a child, I put so much thought into what I said and did because of the environments that I was in.
And being judged by the environment.
Yeah. But, the thing, too, was interesting when they were talking about, being beat up and stuff like that. And, like, that wasn't my experience. But, they say, kids are cruel. It is not like adults are cruel, because even to this day, well, not so much because I don't really deal with people like that. But I remember, my 20s or whatever, coming around my friends and being like, this, people who just automatically judge you, don't like you. And it's like, oh, you're a Valley. Why the fuck am I a Valley girl? Like, where did that even come from?
Yeah.
It's just so far-fetched. But I remember like that being like a title, like as if because I don't look like you? Like,
yeah.
It's just, and adults are worse because kids is like, you kind of chalk it up to kids being kids. But when you become an adult and you know that everybody's old enough to know and to think before they speak and to, to formulate mature opinions and they still don't do that, that's the frustrating part.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you know what, I just can't be around this group of people because it's too much effort for me to fucking get your approval. You know, I can't.
I don't surround myself around people like that anymore because I used to be, you sound so white. You talk so white.
Yeah.
They used to always say that to me. Or like you said, there are things that I just didn't do. I'm not going to do some this is, me, I've always been like that. I just don't, there's certain things I'm not going to do. I'm not going to put my shit anywhere. Like, some people didn't value that shit. And I was always like very like clean and put together. And it was like, why are you so, and one of those things that like you said, it hurts your feelings to be, because they're mad because you're not rolling around on the floor like they are.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. And,
Yeah, or even have an appreciation for the things like, I remember it took me a really long time to get on board with rap music, okay?
Right.
And I remember like, because we grew up in a time when rap was really new, and I remember like Run DMC and all that stuff like that. And to be honest, I thought rap was a phase, a fad.
Of course, we all did.
And I was like, this is not going to be around for long, so like, it doesn't, I don't need to get all on board, and it didn't do anything for me. But I remember not liking rap was like, there it goes. It's another notch against me for I'm not black enough. Like, I hate that we as a people believe
like the same thing.
Yeah, like I have to go down a checklist to be black. Like I have to speak a certain way. I have to look a certain way. I have to be able to dance. I have to like rap music. I have to like, why do I have to go down a checklist? No other culture does that. Where you have to be these things in order to justify your presence in a culture. Like, and a lot of times those things that they value have no value.
Right.
Like things that should have value is that you speak well. Whatever. But the value is rap music. That's my entry card into this world.
Right.
And now what? I like rap. Am I going to get a job?
How does that take you forward?
Yeah, it's just the ignorance that is just like perpetuated, and it just goes over and over and over again. And sometimes you do things like this. Like, I know for a long time I dated a lot of dark-skinned men. Mm-hmm. Same kind of thing. It's like you're almost like because if you see me with another light-skinned guy, then here goes the thought. Oh, look at her, like But so, and I don't know that I went out of my way and said he's dark, but I remember saying that I don't like light-skinned guys.
Right.
At one point in my life, like, he's too light, he's too yellow, he doesn't have any complexion, our kids won't have any color, like, saying stupid shit like that. And that's probably part of the brainwashing too, is like, here go me trying to like balance out.
It's like putting up the artwork.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, look, I like black shit,
You're subconsciously, you're subconsciously putting up that artwork again. But another thing that, obviously we've evolved from that, and each day, I'm still aware of it.
Yeah.
Because it's still like it stays with you. I'm still aware of it when like you said, because I'm always in a mixed environment.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware of it when I'm around white people to kind of not let them get away with shit because they feel like they're comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And also, I'm also still trying to fight for the respect of black women to look at me as like an all strong black woman as opposed to, oh, she's one of those girls, not going to make any waves.
Yeah.
But what I realized, and I'm going to start saying, we've been saying it a little bit, the same, I think the Rodriguez lady was like, she goes, when these slaves come up and say to me, because she said that looking at her, they don't think that they're going to get any blowback from her. Mm-hmm. But the minute she opens her mouth, they realize, oh no, I can't mess with her.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. I'm gonna start calling them slaves too. Anytime anybody make any stupid, ignorant comment about what I'm supposed to be or what this is supposed to be, I'm gonna in my mind be like, that's a slave, because it is a slave thought.
It is
that we're in such a 2015 that you can't approach a black person or a white person and experience them for who they are. Yeah. Based on where they come from. You never know. Like I truly, I've never been one of those. Because there's another thing too. I see some black girls come in and they have white guys, but the white guys are like white chocolate, like they all black.
Yeah.
And that's disturbing to me too, because you're not really seeking out anybody that's different or that you're learning anything from. You're just doing the same, and that's disturbing. I don't want to be friends with anybody or be in a relationship with anybody that looks like a specific culture. I want you to be yourself. If you grew up around black people and you have some sort of essence about you, fine. I'm fine with that. There's a difference between an essence and wearing the garbs and coming in, you know what I mean? It's almost a buffoonery to me on any part, whether white or black, that you kind of dawn yourself in this kind of drab just so you can. It just seems
like you're trying too hard. You're trying way too hard to be something that you're not.
It's just it seems really, it's disturbing to me. And those girls too, they think that they got a white guy, but they're doing the same thing. And
then too, I have to wonder about the motives of the white guy. Like, are you doing this because you want a black girl? You want to have, because this is going to fulfill your entire vision of this. I'm a white guy, but I'm down. Let me show you how down I am. I have a black girl.
Right.
You know, it's like the last final piece in that. Like, I'll wear this shit. I'm going to love rap. I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk like this. And then I'm going to get me a black girl. Like, there, I'm official. Yeah. You know, and as a woman, I would be turned off if that's why I believe you want me.
Yeah.
You know,
I want you to like all women. I want you to find all women appealing, and then you just happen to like me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's very interesting. But yeah, her word for that, I'm like, yep, that is a slave.
That is.
When I see these slaves come up to me, I'm like, oh shit, that was a really good jab, because that's what it is. It's you just look at them and it's like, even today, you're a slave.
It's just so sad. Like, it's just what it comes down to. And like, I think it may have been her that said it, where she said, it may have been she that said it. Excuse me, bad grammar. It said it's more about a lack of unity than it is color. And that's true. What our problem is if you want to summarize it into, one phrase, black people, it's a lack of unity. And because there's a lack of unity, we look for ways to separate ourselves. Right. And I know other cultures do it, and I know, across the globe, Anglo-Saxon features seem to be, the appealing look for all. But I mean, with black people, we are so hard on each other, and we find so many different ways. Black American versus West Indian, it's a class thing. It's, those in the hood, those who grew up in the suburbs. It's light versus dark. It's this hair versus that hair. Like, we find so many ways to just keep chiseling and chiseling and chiseling us away. And like, what's the purpose of this? And I guess it all stems from insecurity, and I don't know. We just try to find ways to be better than other people, or it's almost that thing like, if I'm a dark-skinned girl,
trying to gain acceptance.
Yeah, exactly. Or we're trying to lie to ourselves. Like I'll see, like, and I'm not saying this about all dark-skinned girls, but the problems I've had with dark-skinned girls, it's like you think you're better than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had some people say it out loud. Other people, it's just through their actions, or you hear it the word of mouth.
Or you just look at the way they look at
you. Yeah. And it's like, you've judged me, and you've created this break between us over what? So it's like, and now what your defense mechanism is, like, either you think that being around me is going to make you feel worse about yourself. So it's like, fuck me automatically out the door. So now I'm not even going to go there, because you know what? I'm so insecure, she's going to make me feel some kind of way. So I'm going to nip this in the bud before it even gets that far, and I'm going to make her the enemy. So now I have a justifiable reason to not like her. It's really, really sad. I mean, we all as women, we can be petty and catty and all sorts like that. But, if I may not like your aura, but I'm not going to not like you straight off for the way you look.
Yeah. What I'm most angry on, I'm trying to let this anger go from it. Every time I see it, I try to, analyze it in what's going on when I see it. I'm more, especially when you see remember those two black stupid guys that talked about the lighter skinned girl preference over the dark skinned girl. Yeah. That's what I don't like. There are more men. I think that's where the anger is, and I think I know some of them don't realize it. It's like brainwashed into a way that they're not conscious of it, and then some of them are conscious of it. I hate the ones that are conscious of it and will make bold statements like they think one is better than the other, or that's like you said, I'm trophy. You know what I mean? And I don't like. I mean, I think it's sad when it's something that they're unaware of too, where they
that's like, really sad.
For the life of me, I mean, I don't know him from anywhere, but I really think Kanye has a complex.
Oh, definitely.
And it makes me angry because there's so many men out there, black men, that's like that.
Yes.
That they worship women that are not black, but at the same time, they don't validate. It's okay to be with a woman of any choice that you want, but I don't think he brings any value. He doesn't value any other women unless they look a certain way. So I feel like, I don't know, I just really don't think he values like he doesn't validate black women at all.
No.
And that's sad, because you can be who you want to be with, but it's almost you disregard. I don't hear no rap, no nothing. You're not glorifying, you're not showing that you think they're as equally as beautiful either.
Or I hate when they feel like they have to justify their preference by putting black women down. If you like light skin, you like white women, you like Latinas or whatever, if that's your preference, that's your preference. But don't make it be about black women. Like, well, black women got attitudes, or all black women are this, or they're too. And I've heard people I know say this, like, my friends' sons and people just be like, my friend's little brother said to me on Thanksgiving, he's black, said black girls are too nappy. He said it. He's 20-something years old.
Right.
And he's black, his mother's black, his sister's black, and his sister was there. And she was like, fucking kind of shit is that to say? I'm a black woman. He's like, yeah, but I ain't looking at you like that. But that's...
Right. They make the exceptions for the people that's in their family.
So my thing is this. If you want somebody, if you don't like nappy hair, that turns you off. Fine. There are a lot of black women who don't have nappy hair. If you like light eyes, there are a lot of black women who have light eyes. Like, whatever you're looking, and that's the great thing about the beauty of the black culture, is that it's so many shades and different colors and hair textures, and like you can find almost anything you want in it. But just that hurt my feelings. And like, I didn't say anything. I mean, he's young and he'll grow out of it, hopefully. But it's just like, don't put down your own people. Because when you put down your people and you do it in front of other people, if you don't respect your own woman, who do you expect to respect them?
Respect her, right.
You go around, say you hang out with your white friends and you say, yeah, black girls are nappy. And that's like somebody in your family. My mother was to say somebody, she's stupid. Well, if my mother calls me stupid, then... who can't call me stupid?
Right.
Like, if she's not defending me, then why should anybody else? Like, that's just this. They
perpetuate to the other culture that.
Yeah.
To you, like, well, I guess he must know.
They give the other cultures permission to put down black women, and that's what makes me so angry.
Right.
And you talking about your own mothers, your own sisters, your daughters. Like, I mean, even that fucking common sense would say, you know what? My mother is X, Y, and Z. My mother's brown skin. My mother has, kinky hair or whatever. I can't talk about this.
Right.
But they're so ignorant that they don't care, and they just perpetuate it. And, and that's why you have shows like this where we're so broken as a people.
Yeah.
It was sad. That's what made it sad. The fact that here we are in 2015, how many years post-slavery, and this is still a freaking issue.
Grown women almost in their 40s and older crying.
Yes.
About the shit that was done to them, or the shit that is being done to them now.
Yeah.
It makes you angry and it makes you sad at the same time, because it's like, you got to address your thoughts. Why is it so unattractive to you?
Yeah.
What is that, But
that's the brainwashing. It just goes back to, and that's why when you're brainwashed, you don't even know. Because you're brainwashed. You don't know why you're doing or saying what you're doing, because you've been mentally manipulated so much that you don't even know it. So people can't even, intelligent people can put their finger on it, but anybody else is not going to explore it enough to figure out the source of it. And even if they do, they so already on, they're in autopilot mode, and they can't even get out of it if they wanted to. They don't even know why they like it. They just know they like it.
Right. And they're going to keep on continue doing it.
Yeah, and then they're going to go and tell it to their family and their, and then that's the thing too, what they do. And I like my father is Puerto Rican, and I remember as a kid, if like I had problems with a girl or something in school or whatever, like, the first thing he'd say, she dark skinned, right? And he's like, she don't like you because you're light skinned. Like, that was his answer for everything.
But that's his experience.
And that was like, well, if you, and I mean, I've evolved to the point where I get it, but as a kid, if somebody keeps, and if I was a different person, or maybe my mother was a different person, I would believe that shit. My father told it to me. My father told me that she don't like me because I'm light skinned. And then now that takes the accountability off of me. Now it's not anything I said or did. I'm perfect. Everybody don't like me. Who don't like me is because I'm light skinned. That has to be it. So now I have no flaws. I'm perfect. I have no accountability. It's just.
And the minute someone's not nice to you, the minute they're dark skinned, it's going to prove your theory.
Yeah. You see, and that's like, you know, that's the sadness. And you hear, like, and I don't think my father's an ignorant person per se, but that was some ignorant shit he said. And you multiply that by all the others, and now you see why people have this mindset.
And somewhat flip it the other way. I'm sure a dark-skinned girl will be like, and, you know, the mother is saying she light-skinned, right? Yeah, they always think that they're better than you.
Exactly. We're going to stop here. I'm sorry to cut you off and go to part 4.